Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to CBS's Big Brother Season 22 All-Stars. Now, just like my other videos, the first part is going to be a review and recap of the episode that just premiered on Wednesday night, and then we're going to get into live feed updates and everything else that's happening. Let's start off where the last episode left off, and that was Memphis's horrendous nomination speeches for Nicole A and David. And leaving that nomination ceremony, everyone was upset with Memphis. His own alliance, Nicole A was crying uncontrollably. David had to go decompress in the pantry. That's when Tyler goes to the pantry and is talking to David, trying to hype him up, trying to get him back into the game, say, you're not down and out, you have the veto to play, I'm in your corner, let's get this thing going. David is very touched, especially with what happened last season where he was the first out, he was alienated from the house, he was targeted within that house, and now he has people in his corner and it's just very special to him. Then we move over to David consoling Nicole A. It's really tough on Nicole to be, one, on the block, but two, being on the block next to somebody that a huge friend, as a person that she was a confidant with, and now she feels like she's having to play against him with trying to stay in the house, whether it's campaigning, whether it's trying to win the veto. Now let's move over to a more personal note in this episode, and that is with Enzo, Nicole F, and Kevin. And Enzo is talking about being a dad. He loves it. He loves his children. He loves when they're happy, and he's happy when they're happy. Nicole F is talking about marrying Victor, and that she is just ready to be a mom, that she was born to be a mom. And then Kevin is talking about his reasons for being on Big Brother and that he is here to win the money, to win first place, so that him and his husband can either adopt or do in vitro, which are both very expensive processes that they would have to go through. So he really wants to use that to start his family and to start a new chapter in his life. So let's move on to Memphis and Cody in the HOH bedroom. They're talking about the conversation that Memphis had with Janelle and Kaser, where Janelle name dropped Danny, Nicole F, Cody, and Tyler are in an alliance with one another, which they are. They're in multiple alliances with a ton of other people, but she walked in on them in day 7 in the photograph room, and she name dropped them. So Memphis tells Cody about that. Cody gets instantly nervous, and Memphis is like, look, you can't tell anybody else, I'm just telling you. Cody basically says, I got it, runs downstairs, tells Danny and Tyler instantly about what was said. Tyler goes up and at one point tells Memphis that he knows about what Janelle says. Now everybody on the alliance wants Memphis to pick a side and put up either Janelle or Kaser if one of the nominees gets pulled off with the veto, which I think it's funny that in this edit that Big Brother was trying to be like, oh, a backdoor was a possibility. It wasn't. Memphis shut all that talk down instantly. He was telling Janelle and Kaser that he was not backdooring. He told his other alliance members he's never backdooring anybody in the house. It's too early for that. So he shut that down early on in the week. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go into Ian's punishment, which is called BB All-Star Wars, where he was the +1 to Christmas's safety suite comp. He now has to don all this gear, all this costume, and then he has to play out scenes from this casting director's BB All-Star Wars, where he has to either get people to be in the scenes with him, or he has to do it by himself. He's doing it over and over and over and over again, whether it's the director saying he has to do it over again in multiple times because he didn't do it with enough bravado or enough anything. And then he has to do it as many times as they call him out, which he's doing it while people are sleeping. He's doing it when people are in rooms or not in rooms. And let me tell you right now, this is one of my least favorite Big Brother punishments. Having the live feeds, this was a punishment for the viewers and the people that are still in the house, except for when he had to do it in the middle of the veto ceremony. That was funny. Speaking of veto ceremony, let's go into the players that were picked to play in this week's veto ceremony. The players that were picked were Memphis, Nicole A, and David, of course. And then the players picked were Tyler, Ian, and Nicole F. And they had to go to the backyard where they are balancing a sphere on a plate that's attached to 2 sticks while standing on a podium type of thing. And let me tell you right now, I think Big Brother put more thought into these podiums or what they were standing on than the actual challenge itself. This is something that's straight out of Survivor. To me, I think Survivor knows how to film and edit these type of things to make it a little bit more dramatic. This was not entertaining. And Nicole A was out very early on, so was Nicole F and Ian. It came down to Tyler, David, and Memphis. Tyler is playing for David so he can take him off the block. David was playing for himself. He was also initiating the throw Memphis off his game by yelling. This was funny, and it was a little bit ironic because trying to get Memphis to not focus on his ball or in the competition and make him falter ultimately led to David's downfall in this veto, because he was yelling, but then he started like looking over, trying to sneak a peek on how Memphis was doing, and when he did that, he lost track and focus on his own ball and in the competition, and his ball fell, taking him out of the competition, and then Tyler fell not too long after, meaning Memphis won the veto. And like I said, he was never really going to take off anybody. Like, this was not even a thought process throughout the week. No matter how much his alliance begged him to do anything, no matter how much Janelle was trying to make him see that he was on the outskirts of the house and that people are hating him this week, didn't matter, because at the veto ceremony, he was about to say that he was not going to use it when Ian had to do a scene from his BB All-Star Wars punishment, and then Memphis was like, I'm not going to do it. Nobody's getting taken off the block this week. And that's where this episode ends. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about Ian's punishment? What'd you think about the whole people wanting to be backdoored? Let me know that in the comment section below. And who do you think is going to get voted out this Thursday between David and Nicole A? Let me know that in the comment section below. Now I'm going to go to the live feed. Oh boy, is Big Brother really testing my patience this week? Before I give my thoughts about the Big Brother live feeds this week, I want to first tell you guys about a Slick 6 alliance that was made between Cody, Tyler, Bailey, Devon, Danny, and Enzo. And they were in the photograph room, they were talking, they were trying to think about where the numbers are, and then they just struck up an alliance with one another. They were excited about it. Then all the women left the room, and Cody, Tyler, and Enzo were like, this is the guys' alliance. And they're broing out, and they're saying that they're going to take them three with each other, and they're going to kick the ladies to the curb later on. No surprise there that Enzo wants an all-guys alliance. Now let's move into that. This week in the live feeds was like Groundhog's Day. Every single day, people had the same conversations with each other, and that was them just talking bad about Janelle and Kaser and how everybody is against them and they want them out of the house. Even Nicole A, who really is pretty much alone this week, as David has all the votes to stay. I mean, pretty much he has all the votes to stay, except for Kevin, who has been telling everybody that he is going to vote to keep Nicole A, and that is because of a personal level, that he doesn't want her, like, voted out on a unanimous vote, and that he is genuine friends with her. So he's not going to vote her out. He's going to be like a sympathy vote. And then she might get 2 more with Janelle and Kaser, but that's pretty much it. That is like the max votes that Nicole A is expecting to get in this Thursday live eviction. So Nicole A is more than likely going to be voted out of this house, and David is going to stay and be able to play in the HOH competition. And realistically, if anybody wins this HOH competition besides Janelle and Kaser are going up. It's HOH or bust for Janelle and Kaser. That if anybody else gets it, they're going to be put up. Because of the sole fact that even if you aren't like closely aligned with the quote-unquote other side of the house with Cody and Danny and their 15 other alliances, they're going to look at you funny if you do not put up either Janelle or Kaser or them up 2 together, because they're going to be like, oh, you must be working with them if you're going to not put them up, so we're going to go after you. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on the live eviction and live HOH competition, but it sounds like it's a crapshoot HOH comp where it's going to be like rolling balls and trying to get very far or doing something, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. But that is it for the live feed updates. That's it for Big Brother. until we see the live results tonight. What do you think about this Big Brother season so far? Let me know that in the comment section below. Who are you rooting for this new HOH competition, and who would you like to see stay between David and Nicole A? Let me know that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more Big Brother content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.